Hi, and thank you for selecting our module on connecting with community. This is a 5-week learning project based on civic engagement. It was created by Jeremy Smith and Liz Drury. I am Jeremy. You'll see my Bitmoji from time to time on the slides. This is the overview slideshow. It's what you look at when you begin the project and you want to learn about how it all came together and the things that we want to help you learn about. So I'm just going to show you this for a minute. One of the things that we're helping you do in this learning project, in this what's called the module, is by thinking about civic engagement and having conversations in your community. You may want to focus on activism and you may want to focus on engagement. It's going to have layers of both throughout. In this overview slideshow, we define community engagement. We also define activism so that you can tell the two apart. They are slightly different. And we'll be using a 5-week brainstorming model. In other words, each of the 5 weeks you'll have a little bit different focus. That'll help things to stay realistic and planned. And it will allow you to come back to that week because each week will have a different color. And so you'll get to know each week as you go through the learning module. We call this our brainstorming model. And as you work together and create this layered targeted action that addresses a defined need and comes up with a future outlook, those are all important things. So creating this right here, it says creating this civic engagement project that stems from your idea to work towards understanding and helping to meet that need is important. So we're going to work on getting you to learn about how to do that as you go through. On the next slide, you can see that we have the 5 weeks mapped out and each one is colored. Yellow, turquoise, kind of a pink, a lavender, and an orange. You don't have to memorize what they are, but it does walk you through this process, which we derived from a process called CIPO, or CIPO. We added the check-in for week 4, but this is a existing model of teaching where you look at your context first, figure out where you are, and then go into the input or gaining perspectives, process, kind of, using those inputted things to connect and identify things that you want to suggest and positions you want to make. And then before you get to the output, which will be your presentation, there's a check-in process. We also found that it requires a great deal of flexibility to do these kinds of projects. So we're going to help you stay responsive and flexible as you go. As we get through this module, one of the things you're going to find is that we're going to keep bringing you back to this 5-part development model, which we call the information and feedback loop. It's something that's fairly clear. We can show you it. We can talk to you about it. We can check in on parts of it. And we also have a student that created a farmer's market who's going to be checking in. And they used that strategy, that 5-part strategy, to plan their farmer's market. So it looks like this in visual form. But we're calling that the information and feedback loop. It's nice, though, that because this has 5 parts, community assessment, issue and vision identification, goal, strategy, action plan development, review, and county approval, which is our check-in. And then before you go to present, you may not be implementing your plan, but you're at least going to present it. That fits with the 5-week model that we're using. And the nice people in Florida from the city of Hillsborough allowed us to use this image. And we think it's an easy way to begin to think about civic engagement and planning. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time more on this, but these are links, and for some reason they're not in the right color, so I'm fixing that. White is a little bit hard to see. But each of these links is a project that I worked on in my early 30s. It was a project, a bike tour that I created. So when you get to slide 19 that I'm on here, in this overview, you can check out the project that I worked on, which was a civic engagement project, bike tours to farms in rural Maine. And this is where we talk about Jamie and their use of the project 5-part development plan, the feedback loop. So there's a lot of information that's put together for you. By the end, we're hoping that you're going to have a website. You could also, if you want, create a documentary film. There are some options. We're mostly focusing on a brochure and a website. That's actually going to be a website model. So as we get into this, there's other things to consider. We'll have some SEL slides and some work on that. We'll remind you to think about diversity. And throughout, you'll see review and complete activities. Those will help you as you get through it. So we look forward to telling you more.